Hey everyone, welcome to Reverse Homesteading. It's a beautiful morning, it's going to be a beautiful week. We seem to have all of our temperatures under 30 at this stage, so we shall see what happens with that long term. Often you get a really nice weather forecast and then it ends up really hot or really something. But anyway, it's weather, weather happens, doesn't it? So today I'm going to work on this sad state of affairs. Is my bean trellis that I started out. And there are some tomatoes I'll show you as well that need some attention. These poor little things. There are some things that are obviously not tomatoes in there, but for the most part, they've been a little forgotten down the side here as they weren't growing as quickly because they don't get as much sun. They only get sun to about here for most of the day. Often they get the really fierce western sun at the end of the day, so they don't have the best situation, but some of them are quite tall and I really have to get to trellising them, so we will be doing that today. But don't you love the first part of the morning? So pretty. We've had a lot of rain overnight, and yesterday we had, I believe, about 10 millimeters. So that's a fair amount of rain, at least in summer. We usually don't get a lot of rain in summer at all. But these have been open to the air, so they'll dry off fairly quickly. Honeydew melons, as I've said a lot before, they quite enjoy some humidity. Tomatoes not so much, but these ones are not under a net, so they'll be alright. So I'll lift the net on these tomatoes at the back and make sure they get some air and dry out their leaves today. Speaking of drying out leaves, these ones are almost dry already, so that's good. Oh, some possum poop on that one. That's a bit gross. Anyway, this is under a possum tree. So, looking good with its flowers out in the morning. Let's hope they get pollinated. I've been doing what I can. I've only got a couple of zucchini so far. So we'll keep going, and our pink borage is just so cute. And a lovely little butternut pumpkin, butternut squash happening there. So we'll keep going and get these tomatoes and other things trellised properly. As you could probably see, that did take a little while, but I'm so happy to get a fairly tough, fairly resilient trellis up here for our little plants, including some more permanent plants like our Panama passion fruit and our native currant, as well as our citrus, Tahitian lime and the Eureka lemon. But in the meantime, I'm pretty happy with that effort today. Plants look a little bit sad. If we hadn't had so much rain over the last 24 hours, I would water them, but it's just because it's the heat of the day now that they're looking a little bit floppy, but the ground is a little bit mushy, and I'm sure the plants will be just fine. Just a little note on how I've terminated these. These are just fence staples. If you remember a very early video talking about this area, I was talking about how the cute little clips and little crimps and all the things you can get from the hardware store to terminate these kinds of cable wires can be quite expensive. So each area like that to stop the wire in a secure way would cost about $5, I worked out. So I thought, nope, fence staples. So this one's still quite loose, so you could repurpose it if you took this out, and this one is properly crimped by being hammered right down onto the termination of this cable. So there you go, cheap and not so nasty fix for something that could otherwise be a bit of a problem. Oh my goodness, I only discovered this existed a few days ago. It is enormous. It must have really enjoyed that rain. As you can see, it's fallen off the other branches I was sort of sitting it on. Kept forgetting to come back out and give it a bit more support. So I might find some stockings inside and give that a bit more support. So this is the support I'm going to use for my melon, for my honeydew melon. It's a stocking, which I'm sure many of you have used in the past in the garden. I rarely use anything like this. This is the knee-high kind of thing, and I've cut it so that it's slit right down the length of one end, and then I've cut it in a little bit at each end so I can use that to tie it, so that's ready to go on our melon. There we go. It's just like a little hammock or a sling, supported either side of the stem that it's growing from, so there's no pressure on the stem, and these plastic coated wires are pretty taut, so that should be just fine. Looks like it's on holidays, doesn't it? While my nets are definitely bird safe, these pesky little noisy miners are all over my bird nets all the time. If the holes are too big in your bird nets, it's not good for creatures, bats, birds, that sort of thing. But these are hopping here, there and everywhere all the time. Hopefully not eating my praying mantis. Anyway, hope you're having fun in your garden like these are in mine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.